we had a delicious chicken dinner recently, and I'm not throwing away all the bones. I'm going to make chicken stock in my Instant Pot. It's really easy. Just dump in all the bones. I need a spatula. We don't eat the skin at our house, so I am dumping in the skin, the bones, the juicy stuff, any vegetables that are still clinging to the chicken. That's all going in there. Also, I saved the ends of my vegetables, so I have some carrot peel that I keep in the freezer, some green bell pepper stems and seeds, the ends of the celery, ooh, a whole bunch of cilantro stems. That'll give it some flavor. Let's see what else is in my bag of treasures here. More carrot. Look at that. The inside of a celery. All right. And some more carrots. This is going to be really good. Some garlic ends. This will be great. So, that's probably pretty good. My freezer bag is so full, I could probably make 6 or 7 more batches, but that'll be good. So now what we're going to do, or I say we, but I literally just me. I'm just going to fill it up to the max fill line, which is right there, with plain old water. So think about it. We had a chicken. We, obviously enjoyed all the vegetables and everything that went with it. And however many meals we enjoyed from these vegetable scraps. And for the cost of the electricity that it will take to run this Instant Pot, I'm getting free, homemade, delicious, healthy chicken stock. Why not do it? Okay, so you just put the lid on. Set it to sealing, and I use the meat stew button, and I go up to 40 minutes. You can also do manual pressure, 40 to 45 minutes. That's it. Well, I got busy doing something else, and my chicken stock sat on the keep warm button for about 2 hours. It doesn't matter. It's chicken stock, so I am going to strain out the solid, oh, that smells good. The solid bits, and put this in the fridge to cool overnight. Okay, so why I like to refrigerate it overnight is after it cools off, the fat will rise to the top, and I can pick most of the fat off and then get it canned. I don't like to can a lot of fat, so that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to just drain this out. It's gorgeous. It smells amazing. I'll come back tomorrow and show you how I can it up. Good morning. I put my chicken stock that I made in the fridge, and all the fat is floating on the top. I'm going to skim that off, put it on the stove, and get it hot, back to boiling. In the meantime, I figured out by this handy dandy Cambro that I have about 3 quarts. While I'm heating this up, I'm also heating up my jars in my digital pressure canner. And for quarts, it needs to be 25 minutes. For pints, we'll process for 20. I'm doing 3 quarts, so I'm going to get my pressure canner all set up for quarts. And you've seen me do that 1,000 times, or maybe 3. I might have exaggerated, 1,000. You've seen me do it, so I'm not going to show you that part, but when I come back, we will just fill our jars and get them in the canner. If you're new here, or if you've been coming for a while, my name's Misty, and you've landed on the edge, the suburban edge, that place between the country and the city where together we can learn homesteading skills. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about canning jars. Last time we talked about how if it has the silver lid, I know it's a brand new one. If it has the lid on like this, I know it's a jar that I've sterilized. And if it doesn't have a lid, I know I have to go through a really long sterilization process. Why? Botulism. So botulism is everywhere. It is in the dirt. It can be airborne. It is a bacteria and it's a spore, why do we clean our jars like mad? Well, it can live inside of old jars, and then when you can in the jar and you take the oxygen out, it thrives in a non-oxygen environment, which sounds crazy, but it's true. So if I were to take a jar that I wasn't sure about and put good food in, and canning is a process of taking out the oxygen, right? That's why we get a little concave little button. And botulism grows, it's colorless, odorless, and deadly. So I don't want to create an environment where botulism can survive. So even though, let's say I come across a brand new jar, or a jar that I know I've gone through the patented MISTI sterilization process, I'm about to can 3 quarts of chicken stock, I'm still going to wash these jars. I'm still going to sterilize these jars. And there's many different ways to sterilize. You can do it in a dishwasher that's capable of that. You can do it in a solution of bleach and water and let it air dry. You can even sterilize in your oven. Certain foods need to be pressure canned. If they have very low acid, you have to pressure can it. So anything like meats, stocks, beans, they don't have any acid really in them. If you come across a jar that looks foamy, it looks like something's fermenting in there, or this lid is domed, or the seal is not, the jar is not sealed anymore, just throw it away. Don't take the chance. It's just not worth the few dollars or pennies to poison yourself or your family. If you're storing your jars, you don't want to store them with the ring on. This is terrible. Don't do it. And the reason is because if the seal is broken, you're not going to know. And also, these rings get a little rusty inside, and you can actually create little pinholes from the rust. And the lids can degrade, the seal can degrade. So you do want to periodically check your canned goods and make sure that the lid is still on there. Botulism poisoning is actually really rare, but it's usually deadly. So it's important to can safely. I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and finish washing my jars, and I'll come right back and we'll get the canner going. Look, I'm not trying to scare you away from canning. I want you to learn how to can, and I want you to enjoy the fruits of your gardening labor or save food when you find it on sale. What I'm trying to get you to do is can safely. I don't want anybody to get sick or die. If you follow the instructions that come with your canner, you're going to be fine. And you need to be smart about it. You really should follow proven recipes or understand how pH works if you're going to go a little bit rogue. You can't change the liquid volume without understanding certain things. But come on, there's YouTube. The internet's full of information to help you stay safe. So don't be afraid. I just want you to understand why it's so important to have everything be clean and washed. Take your time, learn about it, and be smart about it. Okay, my jars are in the canner. They're heating up. And this is my setup. I have my jar lifter, my little magnet lid lifter, my debubbler measuring tool, which I adore, a mat to put my jars on, my washed and dried rings, a ladle, canning funnel, and this is a bowl of white vinegar, and I have a clean rag right here to clean the rims. I know I said that you don't have to get the lids warm. I was always taught to put the lids in a dish and put warm, not boiling water in there to soften the rubber. And the manufacturers do say that you don't have to do that anymore, but my failure rate was kind of high, and you know what? I'm going back to the way my mama taught me. I put a little warm water in there. They do say not to do it, but I tried that, and it seemed like 2 out of every 5 jars weren't sealing, and that's just not acceptable to me. I want 5 out of 5 jars to seal. Time to fill some jars. jar is heated up. I do 1 jar at a time. They can just stay in the warm water while I'm doing this. And stock is really easy. So I love that the digital pressure canner heats my jars up for me. But you want to make sure you're putting a hot food in a warm jar. You don't ever want to put hot food in a cold jar because, well, the jar will break or could break. So we're doing 1-inch headspace, and I like to debubble before I measure. Not that there's, anywhere for the bubbles to lurk, but that's perfect. So then we're going to dip our clean rag and really get that rim cleaned off. And you want to go fingertip tight. That's really hot. And then that's just going to go back in the canner. And I'll get the next one and repeat and repeat and repeat. I'm not going to make you watch me fill all 3 jars, but when I get back, I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Even if you don't have an Instant Pot, even if you don't have a pressure canner, you should make your own stock. You can do it on the stovetop. You can even roast your bones in the oven first and freeze instead of pressure canning your stock. It is free. Other than a little bit of labor and some electricity or gas, it's free. And right now, if you look at the grocery store, that canned chicken stock or in the boxes, it's $5, $6, $7. And, why not? I really think even if you don't have fancy high-tech gadgets, you can make your own stock, and you should. Instead of throwing those things away or even composting them, you could get more meals out of them. That's a great way to stretch your pennies. I don't season my stock. I just use whatever veggie ends I have and whatever seasoning that was on my chicken carcass or my turkey carcass. It's pretty much mildly seasoned, and after I open it and I use it, then I can season whatever I'm cooking to my taste. I don't want a bunch of highly seasoned things as basic ingredients. So that's why you didn't see me seasoning it, because it's going to have plenty of flavor. There's lots of pepper ends and cilantro ends and all kinds of things in there, and the seasoning that was already on my chicken. I hope that helps. The jars are bubbling away in my pressure canner, and when they get done, I'm going to remove them and let them cool for 24 hours. So I will see you tomorrow. Hey, so my beautiful free chicken stock is done, and I just wanted to come on here and tell you that it got it all done. It's beautiful. But I just want to say, I really do mean it from the bottom of my heart. I just want to say thanks for joining me on this, living my humble little life. It got a little crazy in the last few years. It's been a little bit nuts up in my life. But some of that crazy can be a blessing, and it really depends on how you look at it and who you lean on. And I know who I lean on. I may not have mentioned it before, but I'm a Christian, and I will be talking about that from time to time. Am I going to throw the Bible at you? No, it's not who I am. But I am going to be who I am. And part of that is, a big part of that is loving the Lord. So, hey, have an awesome day. Have a great day. Look for the blessings in every moment, in every day. And I count you as a great big one of those. Please like and subscribe. And come back. I have more to say. I have more to cook. And I really like having you guys around. Cheers.